Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches. I'm Kristen, and with me I have...
Erica.
Maria.
Very good.
Wow, I just didn't realize she was going to say Erica and just move on.
This is a book podcast. We swear, we spoil, we talk about sex, we suck at podcasting. This week, we're not doing a book specifically. We're doing a book topic. Many a topic, if you will.
A smorgasbord.
A smorgasbord.
This is a popular thing that YouTubers are doing. Did I kind of like copy it? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. But booktubers have done this thing where they ask their viewers to give them their hot takes on books. And we're like, we got a couple people following us on Instagram. We could do this. So Erica...
I have pages.
Erica went on Instagram and asked, what's your bookish hot take?
You guys
I'm excited.
And you guys deliver.
I feel like we're known for Erica just popping out with her crazy hot takes and just going on tangents. I can't wait to hear all of you.
This time it's not
messy.
us. It's
but
not
some
us.
of
It's you.
these I have.
But she's gonna be like, I agree.
I know.
Some of these I have comments for. So.
Oh, great.
I wonder if there's any you don't agree with. I'm excited.
There are.
Oh, cool.
There are.
Cool.
Right
And we're
on
not
the
going to
first
say
page.
anybody's name,
No,
so
yeah,
don't worry.
This is all anonymous.
It's anonymous, but thank you for submitting your bookish hot take, and hopefully you'll hear yours. And if you don't hear it on this one, Lord knows we'll probably end up doing this again down the line because
Or maybe there's a part two. I don't
there's
know how
a
long
lot.
this is gonna take.
You said.
We could probably
We
do a
have-
part 2 from this.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how
Let's
quickly
see
we
how
get
go
through
we
it.
go.
All right. Number one.
Number one, popular books are not usually that great.
Correct.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Correct.
You think?
I don't know a lot of really, really good books that are super popular. I can't think of one.
Harry Potter.
Besides like those kind of things,
Yeah.
like
Hunger Games.
In recent
Ready
in
Player
recent years,
One.
in the age of the TikToks.
in the age of the TikTok, I don't think Ready Player One was that good.
I loved that book. See,
But
okay.
that's subjective.
Here we go. This
Here
is what
it-
I was going to
it's
say.
starting.
This is what I was going to say. Yeah, okay. You personally don't think popular. That's fine. That's totally a personal opinion. Art is subjective as fuck, and you can't even say whether or not it's good or bad because it's bad
What
to
you
you.
think is good or bad
you
is not.
can say something's bad though.
Yeah. I mean, ACOTAR.
I think you have a better.
Is that good or bad?
I think you have a better argument for bad things over
good
good
things.
things.
Yeah, I just think
You can
like,
back it up with better evidence.
well, let's
Yeah.
talk. ACOTAR is pretty new, and like people are.
I mean, no,
obsessed.
it came out what 20.
Yeah, but people are obsessed with it, and I loved
Especially
it.
now.
I
It's
liked
going up
it.
now.
I thought it was good. Just saying that one could be
I
argued.
think,
Okay.
but I will agree. A lot of popular books now that are so
think I'm
hyped,
thinking- I'm
I'll
thinking,
go
like-
in and be like, it's okay.
No,
I'm
Book
thinking
talk.
book talk viral books
Yeah.
more so
yeah,
than
so I'm saying I'll go in and I'll be like, okay, it's fine.
That's the difference.
I haven't read one that I was like, wow. these
No?
are
Oh my
amazing.
Okay.
Okay. Fourth Wing is just a tired mashup of the last 10 years of fantasy, science, sci-fi.
Yep.
Also, Zayden is boring as hell.
You said this
Full
already.
sus-
Okay,
full
Erica,
subscribe.
why did you submit that?
That's Erica's hot take. We already knew that. Erica, if you go back and watch our Fourth Wing episode, Erica has brought this up actually through all of them. Also, Fourth Wing, Iron
Onyx Storm. Iron Flame, Onyx
Iron
Storm.
Flame, Onyx Storm, every single one of them. You have brought up that Fourth Wing specifically is a mashup of all the popular. And like that can't even be refuted because if you read the book,
It's too
it's
on.
what
It's
it
too
is.
on.
That is what it is. So I agree with that one.
There is not only some fanfic out there that is there's some fanfic out there that is not only better than the original, but better than many published works.
I agree.
We've talked about this too.
Hard agree.
There's times where you see the fanfic and you think one thing about a book, you read the book, and it has nothing to do with that fanfic. I think that's also in this topic.
I don't read fan
like you see a
fiction.
I'm thinking
You mean fan art.
I'm thinking fan art.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
So
Fanfic
fiction
is different. You're right. You're right.
like actual
Ignore me.
like Hermione, right?
Yeah, Hermione's what I think of first.
I haven't read
Manacled.
I haven't read any fanfic. What I have seen is fan theories,
Mm,
and if fan theories
Good
are
point.
any
good point.
indication of what fanfic could look like, then I think this has some legs.
Ooh.
I think as someone who's taken in a lot of fan fictions over the years, I used to read them a lot when I was younger, I highly agree because what happens with fanfics that I've noticed is that the authors take things that we loved,
Yes.
right, and built on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're using Hermione as which is Draco and Hermione from Harry Potter as an example,
Hermione.
it never happened in Harry Potter. Besides, like in Prisoner of Azkaban, that's the one when you think like, ooh, that something could happen because she punches
Yeah.
him in the face. And you're like, ooh, enemies to lovers, everything. What?
Oh.
But they take that little nugget and they build it into something so epic
Yeah.
that most people just think about Hermione as actually being canon.
Well, of course, a fanfic
That's
is going to
crazy.
be better to you because you're the fan reading it.
Fiction,
you want
yeah,
a
yeah.
fan's perspective.
You're reading what you want to read.
Exactly. It
Which
so much
makes it
sense.
even that much. It just makes
Yeah.
the
That makes
experience so
sense.
much more joyous.
Yep.
Like you're choosing. You know, it's like when you go read a romance, you know it has a happy ending.
Yep.
It's like going in there knowing you're getting exactly what you want.
Exactly.
And more.
Exactly.
I need FMCs that are experienced in sexual things because I'm sick of the wholesome, innocent shit.
There's a lot of those.
I think it's just the shaming of women and the shaming of their sexuality.
Honestly, on top of my head, I don't think I can name an FMC that was like experienced in a way that like pops out at me.
Crescent City.
Yeah, she was known for
She
being
was-
the party girl.
She was a party girl. I don't think she was a sexual
She was
deviant.
not. I don't think they're saying sexual deviant.
They're
They're just
like,
saying for a girl to
experience
not
sexually.
be like the innocent. I don't know anything. Teach me.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they're out there.
I
You just
was
gotta-
thinking more like
virgin trope.
no, like I know what I want
Mm.
sex wise. Like I think Bryce was neutral.
I think Bryce was normal.
Yeah.
That's what they're asking for. They're asking for more normal women, not sexual deviants.
I don't read enough of that genre to even
I
Yeah.
don't know.
say yes or no. But I could see that. Especially
I
if
think
they're
it
the main
happens a lot in
character.
eroticas.
No, that's a lot of innocence.
But I think
Really?
there's some where the women just know what they want.
Sometimes it is the
It
other
happens
way,
in
yeah.
erotica.
Just because it says spicy doesn't mean it's your type of spicy.
Yeah.
I highly agree.
What is but expand on that though? Like
Well,
or-
how do you want to expand on it?
how you interpret that. Expand on
I
it.
interpret that like how I did with Love Hypotenuse.
I think people
How I felt like it was like a lot, and I was still like,
Oh,
not
okay.
really. And it's like, well, your spice level and my spice level are different.
I see. Okay, yeah.
I think that spicy it's all relative. I think it's
Yeah,
exactly that, right? Like if you're not exposed to spice in that way, you think that
but also,
a single sex scene is a lot versus
But I don't think
4
that
sex
says
scenes.
anything about the person. Like I feel like some people think that just because a person doesn't want to read about sex, it's like, oh, you must be a prude. That's not always the case. Like somebody could be the freakiest freaky freak in their personal life, but when they read a book, they just don't want to read about it.
and
I
the
think
opposite,
that's fair.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this. I've noticed this in recent books that I have read, and especially this. I just finished it last night, but this Why Choose romance that I don't like Why Chooses, but this series so far has been really great, and I've mentioned it before. It's the Entangled series and Snared
yes.
series. What I've noticed about it when the sex scenes were happening, I was like, okay, I'm tired.
Mhm.
It's 5 men. It's a lot,
That's a lot.
right? It's chapters worth.
Yeah.
But what I love is intimacy.
Mm.
Right? So to me, I don't
feel
give a
that.
damn about the actual like, penetrative side. I don't care.
Yeah.
That doesn't do it for me.
I totally
It's
agree.
intimacy, and that could be with nothing.
I'm
that
with
could be
you.
it's the Darcy, the hand, like it's that. It's like I love that in books. So that to me, when I get to like for spice levels,
I'm with you,
I
Maria.
count that as well for
Yeah.
how I feel about spice.
Well, I love
yeah,
that.
that's why
Is that why you like
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why people love sex in books.
It's intimacy.
That's what
people,
it
People
is?
are craving intimacy.
Okay.
That's
So-
all they want, and they might not know that that's what they want,
Mm.
and they might say they like the sex stuff, and they might actually
Genuinely like
but
it, yeah.
It's the intimacy that people are craving because that's what romance is.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mhm.
all what all of this shit is. It's
Right.
just intimate moments created.
I
in
love
a
that, but then when it
entertainment-
gets to the point where it's just like you're getting your back blown out for like
when
7
you
pages,
lose me.
that's when you lose me.
But
personally.
so okay, I have like a whole diatribe on this. Intimacy is like the reason that people like they crave it in their real lives. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like you crave intimacy like within
Friendship,
partners and
relationship,
friendships.
everything.
In all
it's
aspects.
The
Mhm.
easiest way to create intimacy on a page is for them to have sex.
Mm.
Think about a person that you work with. Would you share a bed with them?
No.
No.
Because it's an intimate act.
Mm-hmm.
So even the one bed trope is an intimate act.
But the one
Sleeping together is an intimate act.
but to me, I would love it. I love it more when the sex isn't involved.
But that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like even the one bed trope where two people are just sleeping next to each other. That is that is intimacy. That's
Yeah.
physical intimacy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Mental intimacy. As
yeah,
well.
it's emotional intimacy, right? It's all like you're trusting this person to
Yes,
sleep next to
yes.
you, whatever. So all of these sexual acts are just easy building blocks.
Yeah.
For
So you're
intimacy.
saying, I think it's like just an easy way to
It's an
write that.
easy way,
I'm
but you're
with you.
writing about romance. So
Right.
obviously the building blocks are
Sure.
a lot easier to do
Mhm.
when they're fucking having sex.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to build intimacy between two characters.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why we see sex in books more often than not in
Right,
romance.
Right.
I digress. I think Tamlin should get a redemption. Jamie Lannister got it.
Oh,
This one,
Jamie Lannister.
this
He
one's
did, though.
interesting.
I know, but are we comparing Jamie Lannister to Tamlin?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think Tamlin was that. Tamlin didn't fuck his sister. Like,
I know. I was gonna say
Okay.
Jamie Lannister is like definitely
Jamie
wo-
Lannister pushed a kid out the
way
fucking window.
worse.
Okay.
Okay, what was bad about
No?
Tam? I'm trying to
No,
remember.
you're 100%
No.
right.
Can you
I
remind
just
me?
hate that I sit here and I'm like, wow, I did care that he got a redemption arc. Like, I love Jamie in the last
I love
couple
Jamie
seasons.
too. I love.
know,
And I
I
hate
did
that I
too.
loved
I
him.
know.
I think so. Game
I
of
just
Thrones.
don't give a shit about Tamlin.
Game of Thrones did this,
Yeah.
and also the Borgias did this.
Yeah.
I loved the Borgias on Showtime. Did you watch Showtime?
I didn't watch
Borgias?
it.
I thought it was bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie. Where's
Where's the E in there?
I thought that's how you pronounce
No, it's
it.
Borgia. Borgia.
Is it a?
They're an Italian family from
okay.
from history.
Oh, I was thinking a different
Like
thing.
Pope Borgia guy.
No, I was
Okay,
thinking
well, it's a
different.
show?
I was thinking different word.
Okay,
Different word.
good. I'm like, what?
O-U-S.
Or like Bordeaux? Like a wine?
No.
Okay,
I don't know.
anyway.
Never mind.
My point was very fast to say Game of Thrones did this to me and the Borgias. Just let incest be okay. It just
Yeah.
let it. And
I
I was
hate
like,
it.
I was
I
like,
hate
I
it.
hate that
I
you're doing
hate
this
it.
to me
Wow.
because as a viewer, I know these two actors are not siblings.
Yes. Yeah. True.
But storyline wise, they are. But I
Right.
love them on screen together, and
It's
I'm
icky.
rooting for
It's
these
icky. I know.
siblings to be together.
it's terrible.
And I don't like it.
Wait, remind me what Tamlin did. He locked
Tamlin
her
was
in.
the first one. She the
don't know,
spring
he's-
court.
Yeah.
You know,
locked her in the
He didn't
castle.
tell her things in the beginning, kind of thing. He didn't care about her when
I
she
think
couldn't
he was
read.
slightly abusive.
Abuse? How?
Because he locked her in a castle,
he-
right?
Yeah.
She felt locked in a house. He was doing it for her protection, quote
He
unquote.
locked her in.
Yeah, for protection, quote
And
unquote.
then didn't he go nuts and like throw everything around?
Yeah,
and
he
stuff?
He had an
threw
anger
her around.
problem.
He threw her around a
He
little
didn't throw
bit.
her around.
His magic did.
I have to
Did
reread it. We
Yeah,
have to
we
reread
have
this.
to
'cause
reread
I'm-
it.
But he got really upset in book 2.
He was controlling.
Didn't
or
he
book
get?
3.
I thought he did get an arc.
No,
towards the
he's
end.
got. He might.
I just
He
like,
might.
You know what? I don't give a fuck.
I don't care for him.
That's the end of the.
I never
sentence.
remember hating him though as much as everybody else.
I
But
hated
feel
him
like
when
I need-
he called
we
her a
should reread-
slut.
Let's reread Akatar.
I don't.
Let's do it.
He called her a slut.
I-
In book 3, he did.
Oh, I forgot about
I
that.
don't think I want to reread. Actually,
so. He really didn't get
Okay,
an arc.
I think age gap romances are gross.
Hard agree.
Ooh.
Okay, but now then we get into
I
the
know,
muddy
I know,
waters
I know, we're gonna-
because you could be 1,000 years old representing a like. Where do
Okay,
we
here's
draw
the
the
thing.
line?
Here's my line about this. People are like, oh, well, there's a 1,000-year-old fae and an 18-year-old girl. Guess what? We're in a fucking fantasy, bitch. Everything's a fantasy. Everything.
True.
The ages are fantasy. I'm in a fantastical world.
But they're usually stuck
where-
in a body that is younger, though. Also,
they're physically not.
they're
aging.
physically 18, right?
Yeah, they're
Mentally
physically 25 or
1,000.
35, whatever the fuck they
That's
are.
questionable at best, but yeah, sure.
But like,
But
where
I'm
do you-
saying, like,
yeah.
the fantasy aspect of it removes the age,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because
Yeah.
I'm already
As long as everybody
fantastical.
is a fucking adult, that's what I care about the most. Like, as long as we're consenting adults, then I think we're good. But
And I also think
Right,
so-
but then we go ahead, finish your
there
thought.
are certain ages.
I
though,
also
that
think
agree.
that, like, okay, Feyre, right? I'm just using her because she's fucking the most common FMC or the most like well known. She had to hunt for her family. She grew up real fucking quick.
Mhm.
When you are put in a position to have to raise yourself,
Mhm.
you are automatically way more mature.
mentally immature, yeah.
Mentally, emotionally mature.
Mhm.
So yes, bitch was 19. I think she was more 25-ish.
Yeah.
Does that make an impact on 500? No, but like, I don't think she was a young, naive, like 19-year-old that like lived in her parents' house till, she went to fucking
Yeah.
college. And
Yeah.
now she's,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think there's a difference there
Mhm.
between a 19-year-old like
Mhm.
college student that's fucking
Mhm.
her 40-year-old college professor.
yeah, that feels
Mhm.
real. Where
That's
the fantasy
real.
world is like different than that. I'm with you on
That's
that.
real
I
shit.
got it, I got it,
and
I
that's
got it.
icky in real life.
But that's also a power dynamic too. We need to think about like what sometimes
my problem with
yeah.
age gaps is it's usually a power
like a
dynamic
teacher,
issue.
and that's
What were you gonna say?
scary.
I lost it.
Oh, damn.
But
How do you feel about-
as it's hard for me because I've read and enjoyed some like age gaps,
That's
right?
fair.
And so,
But
But
what's
I
the
go
age
into-
gap that's like your line?
I
See, I have
haven't
a
gotten
line.
there yet.
I have a line.
But I also haven't been reading age gap books.
Okay.
But if it was
So-
like a
I don't actively seek
if it was like a 60-year-old and a 40-year-old, I'm like, rock on. Yeah, that's great. Like that doesn't bother me.
But then
at
if you
all.
do the math and go backwards,
I know
that's where you
my
lose
So
it.
my problem stems, I think,
It's just
from
when you're
30.
young. Yeah.
30 and below, and I'm fine with 15 years. 15 years is like my max.
So a 25-year-old and a 30-year-old? No, that's 5 years.
That's
So a
under 30.
25-year-old to a 25 and 40 would
Okay.
be okay.
That's weird for me.
It's not great. But I could see a circumstance where it's okay.
But I'm also picturing immediately that it's the girl.
I
Isn't
can't-
that crazy that my
I
mind
can't
immediately goes to the
do-
girl?
Because it's
who's
usually
25.
men doing it.
Yeah.
I can't do a girl lower than 22
Okay.
in real, like a contemporary. So
Yeah.
that's my hard line
Yeah.
in general.
Okay.
So, but the age gap, I prefer it to be over 30.
Yeah.
Like
If I'm
they're
gonna
over
do
30,
an
yeah,
age gap, I would prefer it to be 30. Like, let's say the girl's 30 and he's 45.
Yeah, I think
with
That would
you.
be my
I
preference.
think in my favorite book from Abby Jimenez, Part of Your World, I think she's in her late 30s maybe, and he's in his mid 20s.
Mm.
And it was a conversation a lot in that.
I can't
storyline.
imagine dating a younger guy. I think
So
about this all the
here's- I
time.
think
Like,
that-
imagine dating a 22-year-old.
So this
right
is
now.
this
children.
That's insane.
this is my exactly my problem.
Yeah.
John's 38.
Mhm, 38. You said.
John's
Yeah.
38. The idea of my husband dating a 20-year-old, a 22-year-old
Ugh.
makes me want to fucking throw up.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I've talked to him
I
about
get like
it.
27, 35.
I've talked to him
I get
about
all
it. I was
that.
like,
That's
could
fine.
you date a 22-year-old? He's like, there is not a
John doesn't
snowball's
have the
chance in
patience for
hell.
that.
What would you talk
He's
about?
like, I would fucking hate. I would hate listening to it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it just doesn't make sense. Age gaps don't make sense to me. I think in real
Now,
life.
if you're listening and you're in an age gap relationship,
as a 20, no, as
that's
a
fine.
youngin,
Do your thing. I'm just saying.
yeah, I just
No, for me,
It's weird to read.
I think
It's
just
weird.
art. I think it's subjective to the person.
Yeah.
Like I need to be open minded about this because, like you said, not everybody grows up the same.
True.
that is very true.
So
Yeah.
it's not. We have a conception in our minds that I don't think is fair.
I think
to
I'm
the
thinking,
average
I'm thinking the
person.
standard
Fair.
person.
You're thinking the standard stereotype of,
Of, like-
young girl, innocent,
Yes.
naive,
Mhm.
doesn't know much of
Yes.
the world. Older man takes advantage of that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's not always the case.
True.
It's
You're
not.
right.
It's not.
And it's
You're
not
right.
it's not fair to lump it all in that box.
You're right.
I think I know for me I don't want a younger guy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone I would date, I would prefer them to be older.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't sit here and be like, no, age gap suck. I'm like,
It just
and-
comes down to if you want to read it or not.
yeah,
and, like,
and
I don't.
I was gonna
I
come to this
don't.
point. When it comes to reading it, I've read like Birthday Girl. I always go back to this by Penelope Douglas. I
the
love
daddy
that
stuff.
book. I
throws
love
me.
that. I loved it. I ate that book up. But I know for a fact, just like how I change blondes in books, I change ages in books.
Yeah, I do that too.
So I know for a fact she's 19 in this book, but in my head, I'm imagining her in her 20s
That's fair.
and like late 20s.
yeah.
So
Where it's way more appropriate.
so my brain changes it to make it appropriate for me to digest it.
Interesting.
But stepping outside of it, I know it's not okay.
Right.
But when I'm reading it, I'm not remembering that because I'm erasing that.
My problem is the circumstance more than anything. So like daddy, like my dad's best friend, that is gross to me. Like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that no.
like I don't like I think of it as my father's friend, and I'm like I
Yeah.
could not even. I personally couldn't do it. So
No.
it like that. I think of like a coach and like player
Teacher. Yep.
that skews me the fuck out as a former athlete, student.
Were your
and
coaches all
professor.
creepy too? Because ours were all creepy.
Like like student professor,
Yep.
student teacher really fucking disturbs. Like I think it's the circumstances in which these books are usually
what? What?
What?
What about Boss Employee?
Love Boss Employee.
You love that?
Do you mind if it's
love-
age gap?
like I said, I don't like it. I don't like an FMC that's younger than 22, and I don't like an age gap more than 15
I don't know
years.
if it's because I might cut this out, but it's probably because I kind of lived it. I kind of lived a crush with an older boss.
Yeah.
I was 19. I might keep it, whatever. I was 19 and I was working at a company, whatever. I think before I got to college, and my boss was like, he had to be in his maybe mid 30s, right? Like maybe 35.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the hugest crush.
That's so normal.
But I kept it.
I think
It's
so
a crush,
too.
and he would flirt. Like he was a flirt with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always worked with myself, like building what I was doing. And he'd come over and like talk to me, and I'd be like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
And it wasn't until after when I left for college, I had come back because they invited me to the Christmas party, and he was definitely drinking. So as I was saying goodbye, and he basically like touched my ass before I left.
Oh.
And the secretary girl, she's like, Richard, because he was Richard, and he's like, what? She doesn't work for me anymore.
Oh, you liked it.
The swoon! I should not have liked it. It was bad.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I had such a crush on him, and I felt like, wow, Maria, you did that. But that's what I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like, as a girl of 19, you feel
You want the attention of an
Yes.
older
you
man.
want the attention. You feel like enough. Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely.
It's a
Being
weird dynamic. So
younger-
He's
it's like,
also so cool, and you're like, yeah.
I don't know if so. When I'm talking these conversations, I'm like, it's
Yeah.
hard for me to be there and be like,
Yeah, I
no,
don't like that.
because like,
yeah.
I would be a hypocrite.
I'm speaking this
I
truth
agree.
from a 33-year-old woman.
yeah.
If I was 22, I wouldn't be saying this shit.
True,
Right.
True.
Even if I was 25, I might not be saying this shit.
Because you could still get Leo at the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there is a huge. I personally I don't read age gap.
Yeah, I don't pick it up anymore.
Let's see. I don't care how or what others read. You do, you girlfriend. All of the us versus them content
Yup.
is for money.
Yup.
Amen.
So I've been on this like tangent lately on threads of like these like hot takes. People will do like unpopular opinion and then post like the most popular or they'll be like unpopular opinion and they'll just post the craziest out of pocket like
Just rage bait shit.
and I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing? You guys are fucking crazy. Like and people take the bait like they are a prey fucking animal. Like they've walk into that trap like they are a little fucking mouse.
Oh, always. People
It's
love the us
wild.
versus them bullshit, but like we say this all the time. Like we'll hate on books here and there, but at the end of the day, we're always just like, if you like this, go for it. But everything on BookTube, I always see is just like, I'm done with blank, or I hate romanticy.
Well, they need clicks.
TikTok's ruining this.
They
and
need
it's like,
clicks.
even people that I really like and I respect will just make an entire video bashing a group of people because they don't read the classics or they don't read.
Yeah.
And it just feels so elitist
But
and
it's often
gross.
It's
and-
often a college student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I hate
Hasn't
to
lived
say
much
it,
life
like,
anyway.
it's just
Good point.
the weakest part of Fourth Wing series is the romance, and I don't get Violet and Zayden. Highly agree.
Why?
She's mentioned it
I
several times.
just think that if you want to get into it, like I just think that their romance is
Talk about
not good.
miscommunication trope. Am I right? I didn't read most of these books.
Yeah.
I just
think
in
they're
book-
bland.
And I remember
Ooh,
this
this one's a good
because
one,
when we
too.
were covering Fourth Wing and we all loved it, right? Remember right after we also covered Serpent in the Wings of Night or whatever?
Yeah, great book.
And I loved that
Mhm.
that relationship. I think I said in the podcast, I liked the relationship between those characters,
Yeah.
Aurora and I can't remember his name right now, but I'll get back to it. I love them more
Yeah.
than I did Zayden and Violet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just feel like Zayden and Violet feel kind of basic,
Yeah.
kind of stereotypical, kind of
There's no reason they're in love with each other.
coded.
Mm.
Greason and Fair coded in a way. Like he's a shadow daddy, the whole thing.
True. Yeah.
And she's
Smart.
smart and
They have no depth. They have
I think they're very surface level.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to believe them on a relationship
Aren't
moment.
they like barely together anyway?
Yeah.
So this is what the problem also had with like
Prime
Twilight.
intimacy
If you
there,
look
isn't
at the
there?
timeline of Twilight
Yeah.
and how long they were truly together dating for before they
It was
got
like 3
married.
months, right?
Yeah, and then he's gone for like 8 of them.
Mormonism.
But yeah, it just feels like they're very surface level characters and their
Sure.
love is surface level. I don't feel their love.
Fair.
Give me your next one.
If you need to tandem read 2 books at the same time to enjoy them, and at least one of those books is bad. Looking at You, Tower of Dawn. So that's Throne of Glass.
Wait, tandem read.
So reading them at the same time.
2 different
Why
books
would you read them
because they're
time?
happening in the same timeline, but one book is one character,
What?
one book is another character.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This is a thing that I didn't know existed.
Yeah. Throne of
It's
Glass
not
has
the
that.
same story in both books.
But it's like you're 2 different
But
scenes.
it's happening at the same time.
2 different like groups of. Okay, so
I did not know this.
Game of Thrones, right?
Sure.
Do you remember the Sand Snakes and that
Yes.
whole in Marine or whatever?
Yes.
That
I hated
book,
that storyline.
that was one book,
Okay.
and the other book was Dany.
Oh.
They were happening at the same time.
It's
but
like
they
when
were
you watch
They
a
were
two
two
show.
different places.
Places.
Two different
It's like when you
people.
watch a show. You'll see
Sure.
Game of Thrones is great. Dany's doing her thing.
I've just never seen it in
And you see the
standalone
Starks doing
books.
another thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not in a standalone. It's like it's a series.
It's in a series.
Oh.
One book
So,
is one
yeah.
character, one book is another character.
Okay.
People are reading
Just
those
happening
books at the same time.
Have you done that?
They were released differently,
No.
You
but they're
never-
doing that for
So why are people
that,
doing that?
for that series. They've done it.
Because for Throne of Glass, there's a book. There's 2 books that are happening at the same time, and
There's no reason to do that though. You just
get
read
through 'em, I
along.
guess.
if you don't want to not read the main character,
Oh.
because the main character's not in that other
people
book.
have broken it
Oh.
down to where by chapters.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, that's kinda
read
cool, actually.
chapter, right? It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Read chapters 1 through 5, and then read chapters
But people are
2 through 6
saying
in
that you
this book, and
have
then
to
this.
read it like that.
That's
I'm doing,
actually
like-
kind of cool though. That's kind of fun. That's like a fun way to rewrite a whole book essentially and make it a new. That's like that takes
so
talent.
somebody else
Was
said.
Sarah, is that Sarah J. Maas?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I know we shit on her a lot, but that takes a lot of talent writing wise to be able to do. And she was 16, right?
Started at 16 around there.
Started.
I mean, that's kind of fucking cool. I'm just saying. I just gotta
I
give a
don't
few props there.
Next one.
But that's interesting. I didn't know. Didn't know that.
I think the Ravenhood books by Kate Stewart are just not good. I do
Ooh.
not understand the hype. So I've always
Agreed.
Really?
so
I've only read book 1 and I hated
People love.
I've
those
always
books.
said this series is very
I'm
divisive.
gonna look that up.
You either love them
I want to read
or
it.
you hate them.
I hated
and
it.
I think they're just one of those types
And I
of
feel bad
books.
because Heidi, one of our listeners and friends, she loves that series. And I always feel bad when we're on the Discord and like I know Robin and I would be like,
Is it
not our fave.
Is it romantic?
Block. It's like no.
No,
It's contemporary.
Contemporary romance.
Oh,
It's
contemporary.
Yeah.
it's one of those books where you can't say anything about the plot because even if you say a single
The one thing you say will spoil.
it'll
Really?
spoil it.
I kind of want to read it now.
No,
Go
you
for
don't.
it.
No, you don't.
You don't.
No,
let
you
her.
don't.
You
No,
think
you
I
Let
would
her.
read
No,
it?
you
Let her.
don't. No, you
Let her.
don't.
I
No, you
suffered.
don't.
Let
Is it
her.
on Kindle?
Nope.
Go ahead.
I'm
Read
not
it.
doing this.
Go ahead.
If I hate it, it's all your
Go
fault.
ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
going
Do
down
it.
this
Do
fucking
it.
path.
Do it. Let us know.
No, I'm not going down this path because she's not going to read book 2, and book 2 is the better of the books.
I'm not reading book 2 either.
I
It's
know.
on Kindle Unlimited.
Do it.
I'm gonna read it.
Go for it. I
Watch-
can't wait.
Watch this.
I
Bitch.
can't wait.
I'm not talking about it here.
We're gonna do an episode.
Actually, you know, it would send you through to the sun.
Sun?
I want to go to the sun.
No, you don't.
Take me to the sun.
So book 3
Uh-huh.
is not actually book 3. It's an extended epilogue.
All right, I'm out. I'm out.
Why'd you
It-
ruin it?
No,
I want
but
her to know.
I'm
It's
out.
it's not part of the story. It's just like an additional.
No, I know you.
just
We've
an
talked about
epilogue.
this, but it's a whole book.
It's 400 pages.
Well, I'm not gonna read that.
No, I know. I just wanted you to know that existed.
I gotta.
That's why you know
Um,
that's a thing.
Books without detailed sex scenes are better books.
I agree.
Okay, I can't say there are.
I know
they're all
Erica's
better
gonna
books,
disagree.
but there are a lot of books that are better that don't have explicit sex scenes in it.
I don't think you need it to make it a good book.
I don't think you need it, but are my top books all have-
Explicit sex
that have
scenes.
sex scenes
I'm
in
talking about
them.
explicit, right? Is that the word that they used? They
Mhm.
said explicit sex. I don't think you need those at all to have a. Well, what was the exact hot take?
Books without detailed sex scenes are better books.
Oh, detailed sex. I think that detailed sex scenes sometimes will take. I'm talking personally. Will take me out of the book.
Agreed.
I'm
It
fully.
just depends. It depends how it's written.
Yeah, I mean, it depends
All
on the
things
type of
depend.
book too, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm reading Game of
This
Thrones.
is too. I think this is too vague of an opinion.
I think I'm reading Game of Thrones. The second I get into a detailed sex scene, I'm out, dude. Like, genuinely.
Once it becomes a play-by-play,
Yeah.
I'm out. I get
Unless
tired.
I'm reading it for the sex. Like, if I'm reading Creature Cafe, I know that's why I'm reading it. That's what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
But I do agree that, like,
Which we should read another Cleo Evans book.
I agree.
Okay,
do it.
this one is
It's vague.
interesting. If it doesn't have quotation marks,
Oh.
I'm not reading it. Absolutely hate this writing style. So this is
Oh,
when
yes.
dialogue
Yeah.
does not have quotation
When
marks.
would that ever happen?
Normal people by Sally
Sally
Rooney.
Rooney does not
hated
use
it.
quotation marks.
I
How do you
like
know
it.
who's talking?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Do they split it up paragraph wise?
No. So I mean, normally formatting you're supposed to do it, but like still, if someone's talking in the middle of a paragraph, or say like they said or and da da da, it just.
I need a solid reason why you would ever do that.
I also read Dominicana by I can't remember the author right now. Also had that issue where they didn't put quotations, and it's so hard to read it physically.
But I don't get why you would ever. What
It's a
purpose that would
stylistic
serve.
choice.
Yeah, it's just stylistic.
You're just trying to be like a hipster.
I don't know.
My book doesn't have quotation marks.
I don't know, but I know for normal people, I had a tough time reading it physically, so I had to switch to the audiobook, and then that book still made me sad. I don't like that book.
Fair.
I agree. Sex in YA should be closed door,
Yes.
but I also think smut should be a low worry when teens have the internet.
I don't think. No, because not just smut in books in general, the internet is just an issue
Yeah.
for kids. You can't just lump just smut books on itself. Like everything could be an issue.
I think
This brings us back to smut porn. Is smut the same as porn? I think that's like the argument that it like brings us back to.
I think you can have sex in books in a YA capacity that promotes safe sex and safe sex practices. And like, I think the point of YA is to like teach and to like give lessons and like.
I think if you're talking about it, but I don't think you need to see it.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like most YA has a theme
Coming
or
of
like,
age.
Sure.
yeah, like there's something there. So like I do think that as an author, you have a moral responsibility. If you are going to have sex in your YA in any capacity, it needs to be like light, not detailed.
Closed door.
No, I think it needs to be.
I
don't think it needs to be closed door. I think it needs to be extremely light
Or light.
on the
yeah.
details.
Okay,
It needs to be very brief,
I
Yeah.
think
and it needs to practice safe sex.
I think I know One Dark Window is One Dark Window a YA.
Yeah.
I think that's a good example of how to do it in a YA book.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've
think
seen
about it,
great
though.
examples of it.
Think about it from a movie standard. So like PG-13 versus R. I feel like PG-13 books, I mean movies, do they ever have?
I think it's crazy to ignore the fact that teenagers or young adults have sex, right? Like
Oh, for sure.
that's a reality.
I totally agree with that.
And I think that you
But
could
at the same
still
time, do
do
we
it.
have to have it? And like why does
But if
it?
it's in a romance,
If it's a
then-
romance, if
Fair.
we don't mean just like anything in general. We
Got
mean when it's specifically like referenced.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think
There's just so many different types of people in the world. There's like Christians who are reading these books and they freak out if there's even a mention of like any type of sex, right?
Yeah.
And then there's people who are like free spirits who are like, we need to tell kids to have safe sex.
we
And then
also
there's-
need to.
it's just all like it all comes down to what the parent. If you're under 18, it's whatever your parents are.
right, and I also think it depends on where you live
Yeah,
and your culture and your
Mhm.
background and
Yep.
what your parents are like and how they were raised. That
Exactly.
makes a big difference.
exactly.
If you are raised in a household that's more strict on that kind of stuff, you're not going to get that kind of
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, and then you're forced to be in your school where kids will talk, man. Kids talk.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And then
Right,
you're
yeah.
not able, then it becomes this kind of thing where a one-up situation
Mhm.
where the kids start thinking, oh, well, I have to pretend like I know everything and do all this stuff because my friends are.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes an unsafe situation in that sense.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair to just like sort of go after books in general for doing it.
Yeah, I agree to ignore it entirely as wild because, like you said, kids are having sex, and that's like a normal human thing
Yeah.
that's happening.
Yeah.
But I'm
And
with you,
having
Erica,
it be sort of like restrictive could be more detrimental
true. That's a good point.
than it is helpful.
No, that's a great point. I think Erica's way of saying it makes the most sense of just like minimum. things. Yeah.
not detailed, brief,
Mm-hmm.
practicing safe sex. And I
Agreed.
think that
Yeah.
if you have to have, and it can't be a lot of scenes, it needs
No.
to be.
One Dark Window is definitely the best way to do it. What else you
I
got?
want you to read that one.
Uh-oh.
If you skip any story pages or paragraphs in a book, you cannot say that you read it.
Oh, whoever did that has to know us, right? Like that's just a fuck you right there. I think.
Right to
know.
Erica.
I know.
Yeah. We've talked about this a few times. Is skipping things not reading things? Yes. Physically, yes. You didn't read that part of the book. You got the general yes, you got the general gist. You got the context. You have enough to get the whole story and understand the same things that Maria and I understand. You're on the same page. You didn't read the book. You didn't read the whole book.
That is fucking crazy.
Skipping a few words here and there,
crazy.
Fine, that's normal. But we're talking chunks. You'll skip a page,
You'll skip
bro.
chapters.
You'll skip chapters. That's not reading the book.
Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't say that I read the book.
We're talking about skipping a page or a paragraph, because I know you've skipped paragraphs and said that you've read the book.
I think skimming is different than skipping.
I agree. We're talking about skipping.
I have a percentage that I
love this.
And it's a vibe. I'm not saying it's an exact
It's a vibe.
science.
That's exact science.
It's not an exact science.
Okay.
But if I feel as though I've skipped too many pages in a book, I will not mark it as read.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't know what it's a vibe. It's not. If I skip 10 pages, it's a no. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But Crescent City, weren't you flipping those? You said they were like Bible pages.
I did.
And
did
you read that book.
I did read that. I consider myself reading that book because I feel like I did not miss anything.
You see, Maria. You see.
By reading that book.
But you didn't read it. That's the point in all of this. You didn't read it.
I think
you skipped it.
You skipped it.
I think it's a percentage
it's
of the book.
It's the same as listening to a book, the same as
I
reading
think I
it.
only skipped like 10% of the book.
How do you know?
That means you didn't read the book.
But you know what I mean? Versus
you read a part of the book.
If like that book was 600 pages, right? Or 650 pages, I probably skipped 30 pages.
This is really
right?
what it comes down to. You didn't read that book, but who gives a fuck?
That's
no one.
That's what it is.
The reality.
That's the reality.
That's the reality.
Who gives a shit?
Pirate books, I don't care. Dog-eared the pages all you want. Rip them out for all I care. It's your book.
Pirate books?
Pirating, like stealing books.
Pirate a book.
Oh, so they're saying steal a book or rip a book or do this. I don't care.
Do whatever you want to do with these books. It's your book.
Pirating, I think, is the problem in that.
Yeah, pirating, I will not agree
I'm with you on like dog ear, rip it, do whatever. It's your book. Absolute. That is
you paid
100%.
money for that book. That's
you
yours?
bought that book. You could throw that book in a fucking fire for all I care. Do whatever you want with that book. That's your money.
But pirating, I'm not going to say that's...
Pirating is very different.
So what would be considered pirating? Because
she's asking this because she just pirated a book.
No. I'm thinking about the ACOTAR. I'm thinking about ACOTAR and Crescent City. Sarah J. Maas made it so that there's 5 different chapters in 5 different types of books.
Okay, yeah, good
for
point.
the same book,
mm-hmm.
and there's these bonus chapters. Is it pirating if people are posting those extra chapters?
No, that's
online?
not an entire book. That's not.
It's only pirated if it's the whole book.
I think so.
If it's not something
that's a cash grab. That's a way around a cash grab.
That's another.
So I'll give you my hot take on this, and it is a fucking caliente take.
Caliente take. Okay.
I think if you, and I'm not going to say this, what my personal like dollar amount is. I think if you are an author that makes a certain amount of money, I think you're like part of the fucking class in which I am allowed to steal from you.
No, Erica, no.
That is kind of a caliente take.
That's very caliente.
I think that if I can't get it at the library, I can't fucking do XYZ. Because I do think that people posting those things are stealing.
But you're not just hurting her or them. You're not just hurting the author. There's a lot of people that go into, like, when you buy a book, all that money's not just going to the author.
No, I know, but I'm saying I think that like, I think posting those chapters is pirating.
Okay, yeah, but I think
that's okay. I'm thinking about it as a 20-year-old college student that doesn't have a fucking pot to piss in.
Well, that's what the library is for.
That's stealing their fucking shampoo. That is stealing their fucking extra book that they're reading. That's,
I hear you, but I
pirating
still think,
a movie online. How many fucking times have you pirated a movie online? How many times have you? That's fucking bullshit.
I steal all my movies. No, here's the point.
Okay, I think
libraries are here for a reason, and also,
and I think people should utilize them.
And I feel like you're almost doing a library a disservice too when you pirate a book. So
I agree.
I think there's a lot that goes into it. Like, you're hurting a lot of people.
So I'm thinking of like instances And this is the thing. I don't think life is black and white. I don't
agree with
think
that.
it's
I don't
like
think
agree with
so.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
like and I say it's okay because I think that
Things are
there's-
not binary. You're
I
right.
think that there
You're right.
are like how is murder right or wrong? You immediately would say wrong, but then it's like there's a
more to
million other times where you think murder's okay.
That it's
Yes,
circumstance.
You're right.
That
you're
it's
right, you're right.
circumstance.
You're right.
So
Yeah.
I do think that things are okay in certain circumstances.
I guess then it boils down to what is the intent of that person
Yes.
doing the pirating / stealing. Stealing a book because you're cheap and you don't want to try to support an author that you're
Yeah.
probably enjoying, I think
Yeah.
is just not
Yeah,
right.
Especially coming from like
I
we're
agree with that.
creators. Like
Yeah.
we know like what it takes to have to like put your work out there and how much work goes into that.
At the bare bones of it, I do think that there are circumstances in which
I agree with that. There are
things
circumstances. Yes.
yeah.
are okay.
But
that
don't steal
nor-
books. Go to your libraries, which I wanted to talk about for a while. Maybe that'll be an episode of just like supporting our
I
libraries.
think we need
in
to do an
general.
episode on
I want to hear about
mediums.
your library tour. Like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
we need to talk about that. So that'll be something in the future, maybe that we chat
For
about.
the record, I do not pirate books.
Oh, good.
I don't
So-
either.
I'm not gonna lie. When you read that hot take, I thought you were about to talk about pirate books, and I was
No.
gonna get really upset because I
You
really
love
like
pirate
to read a
books.
pirate book.
Nope.
Thank you.
I
All
do
right.
not. I do not steal anything anymore.
Anymore.
She's grown.
I'm 34 years old, 33 years old.
I
I'm
can't
no
even
longer.
talk. When I was a kid,
You're
I was
about
the
to be
biggest thief.
34. Are you excited for your
I
birthday?
know, right? That's
She-
what I'm saying. Like when you were younger, didn't you steal shit?
All the time. It was terrible.
Okay. Let's end this here.
Thanks everybody for joining us on your hot
Okay.
takes. There are like a whole bunch more. Can we make a part 2 one day? It's okay. Send more of your hot takes. We'd love to hear them. And you could do that by going over to our Instagram, books_n_betches, BETCHES. Maybe more questions will come up in the future for topic episodes. But thanks for being here. Check the link in the link tree for our YouTube. And we'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.